It's good.
Seen some other.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, April 10th, 2019 Dudley Planning Board meeting. Present this evening, we have Russell Giglio, member. We have Gregory Benoit, member. Daniel Edmiston, clerk of the board. Our town planner, Don Johnson, and myself, Guy Horn, chairman. First item on our agenda is item A, approval of the meeting minutes from March 27th, 2019.
I just have one quick thing on the heading of the letterhead. There's a typo by Dan's name. It says clerk of the board.
Oh, okay. What's that?
It's all right.
Say,
Let's get promoted.
Other than that, was there anything else that anybody saw? I didn't notice that.
Oh, I read the minutes and didn't find any errors. I missed the one that was just pointed out, but I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes.
A second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next item on our agenda is item B. We have an A&R plan for Phil Davis. Let's take a look at this. Get this copy done in a few days.
Do you want mine too?
Can you, take one copy out of your book also?
Taking that one lot and dividing into three.
It's pretty simple.
Piece 43. 43.
Yeah, this one, we still got some.
37 an acre?
Acre is just under 44,000. 43,560.
times 2 is about 87,000.
This says it's in residential zone 15.
Yes, it's 87 on the map.
Zone 15.
It's right here. Actually, you're right, nope, down there, we're down too far north. Way too far north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we're in 15.
All right, so, but I do see something here, Don, that one of the lots that they're proposing, lot number 1, is under 30,000 square feet, and I thought that in the state of Massachusetts, to have a septic and a well on a lot, you need a minimum of...
Maybe they make it just under, maybe it's like 7 square feet under or something, I don't know. If you, to deal with the Board of Health on that one.
Okay. But they all have the required frontage.
Sometimes they share septic systems too, you know, so
Okay.
there's room on one lot, not the other one or something, I don't know.
It's like an easy thing to fix. I mean, they've got.
Yeah, just cut a line across here or something.
We'll just move that line up 6 inches probably would be enough.
Yeah, I'd just tilt it, because it's kind of close to the house, I think.
That's being
It's
torn
going
down.
Oh, it's
coming
coming
down now,
Okay, okay.
I assume they're building a new one on 3 of them, but that's just my assumption.
Let's see what they asked for. They asked for any waivers. I'm looking for a waiver on the profile of the existing grades. We have the north symbol, we have the butters, we have the topography.
It's kind of flat.
There's
Slopes up gently.
there's only a 2-foot difference. Okay. Topography. says to depict the division of map 222 described in deed book. Two lots, 1, 2, 3, as shown above. Okay. All right, so this is, looks like it's a pretty simple A&R plan. The engineer even went and put the intent of the plan on the drawing. It says the intent of this plan is to depict a division of map 222, parcel number 90, as described in the deeds book 57890, page 152, recorded at the Worcester County Registry of Deeds, into lots 1, 2, and 3 as shown on this map. And okay, so the owner's information's up here. It's the owner of record, P&C Properties LLC, 7 Forest Street, Oxford, Massachusetts, 01540, deed book 57890, page 152. Property shown as parcel 90. Yep, parcel 90. On map 222, appears to lie within the residential 15, Res 15 district of the town of Dudley. All right, so the only waiver that they're looking for is a profile of the existing grades for the purpose of accessing the 3 new lots. When you look at the topography, it looks like that the grade along Corbin Road is within 2 feet on any of the lots, so I wouldn't think that would be a problem, in my opinion. So would somebody like to make a motion that we grant the waiver for the profile of the existing grades for the 3 lots?
Make the motion to grant the waiver for the variation.
Okay. We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? Okay, now we just have to make a motion to approve this A&R plan for P&C Properties LLC, 7 Forest Street, Oxford, Massachusetts, 01540, deed book 57890, page 152, Dudley tax map 222, lot number 90, or parcel number 90.
I move to accept the plan as read.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Just a quick question, so the 30,000 square footage there is out of our jurisdiction, that's more of a Concom? Or
It's more of a Board of Health issue.
Board of Health issue?
Yeah, because you got,
Oh, for the septic, yeah, okay.
Yep. so, I mean, if it's not right, they'll get
Do they have
notified.
utilities over there, though?
Say that again?
Does it have utilities?
What do you mean utilities?
Storing water?
No, not out that far. There's no water and sewer on Corbin Road as far as I know. So they would need to do a well and a septic, so, but from what I could remember from one of the training classes we had at Citizens Training Collaborative, that they recommended, the state recommended 30,000 square feet minimum for all.
They recommend 40,000 sometimes, too, but
Yeah, I'm sure the engineer can figure it out. There's plenty of land here,
it's the way they have in mind.
so. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, so if we can sign off on this.
Just sign the Mylar, or
Yeah, we have to sign the Mylar and date it.
Now with that,
you need,
no, rubber balls.
Oh,
You bring them in here?
did we bring,
I'll go grab one.
grab the one that's all black.
Oh.
otherwise it's yours.
Oh, I got you. I guess it's, look at the rest of the way the properties are over there, so it's not a big deal. Almost think that should be an 87 area. Just look at how very nice.
Yeah, just have inches on the street a little bit.
Yeah.
those two sheets.
All of us? All of us signing?
Yep. Just sign 2 copies on that. Here's the Mylar pen.
Unless he's already done?
We need
Are these three?
these two, these two are set. Yep, just 2 of those. And we gotta get a majority of the board to sign that. And if you can sign those 2.
Is this now the full board?
This is it.
There's like a special table just for signing plans. You're only signing 2 of these?
Yeah, usually just 2 of the paper copies, right?
Yeah, one to the town clerk and one to us.
The other ones are just extras.
One for the assessor, one for the building inspector, but they really need to see the signed plan for the registry. You go out to the registry before they issue any permits, stuff like that.
Sorry. Okay. Item C on our agenda this evening was endorsement of Dudley Estates definitive subdivision plan. These were the plans that were not delivered to the last meeting. There was 19 sheets, so that's why we were a little bit late starting tonight. We actually signed them all in the planning board office rather than drag them all out here for the signing party. So that's been done. And item D, discussion status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Rocky Hill Estates, Piastra Road, Country View Estates, and Tobin Farm Estates. Is there any update on the 2 that are currently working with the Board of Selectmen?
Sorry, I haven't heard any more from that. I know they're working on it. If you see one of the vouchers tonight, it's the, they're with the sign sheets. What the neighbors, figure we, to get ready, we didn't get any sign sheets necessary tonight, so I have it here. I have a voucher for the engineering, for, Tobin Farm.
Tobin Farms, okay. So the 2 subdivisions that are currently working with the Board of Selectmen are Tobin Farms and Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive.
I haven't heard any more from him, though.
You haven't heard any more in Country View, but Tobin Farms is actively working. Okay. Was the inspection of the AMP solar farm in West Dudley done?
We did. They had a long way to go. They had a long way to go on landscaping.
So there's still work that remains to be done on
There
landscaping?
wasn't much growth.
Okay,
So I don't know if they're gonna spray it this spring or if they're gonna do it in the fall, but it wasn't substantial growth to, set off on it yet.
okay. But was there trees required on that one too? I believe there was. A tree line, did they plant the trees already?
I don't know if he did on that. I have to look at that again.
Okay,
That was pretty much
up a hill,
on the hill.
yeah, okay,
Those are some of them that are pretty close.
right, all right. And if we turn to item F in our books, we basically got coming up articles, or potential zoning article bylaw amendments we can go over. The first one is the
Accessory use apartments?
accessory use apartments, you're right. And
You have a draft in there, it's complete, it's been submitted to the selectman's office, right? Talked to the building inspector about some comment the town council had, and there's a very small change we're gonna make in that one, just 2 words.
okay. I noticed on the square footage, though, that it went, when we had the last meeting, I thought we talked that talked about possibly reducing the square footage down to 400 square feet, because
We can do that, sure.
750 to 900 square feet sounds like an awful big
I know.
apartment for
Oh, it does.
for an in-law apartment.
It does.
You know, I mean, if you just have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law that you have to provide accommodations for, that seems like a crazy amount of space.
You mean efficiency, madam.
Yeah, I think,
I can do that, we can do that tomorrow, I guess. Whatever.
I think 400 square
I think
feet.
if it gets over 900 though, it gets a separate house.
Right.
I live in an 1,100 square foot ranch.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's a lot of ranches in Dudley that are 900 square feet, so. But I think for, you know, an accessory use, 400 square feet it should be more than adequate.
900 feet, the accessory use becomes the main use.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that takes care of that one.
750 to 400, right?
Yeah, 400
And that was gonna be the minimum, right?
minimum, yeah. And then, we're not gonna discuss it, but there is, just so everybody knows, there is work being done on the kennel bylaw with the animal control officer, our town clerk, and our clerk is working on it also, right, Don?
They're working on it, I'm working with them too.
Yeah, okay.
They'll
So-
draft, very rough draft, I think it's ready.
There's a rough draft in your book here that you can,
We'll do that over the next couple of weeks, we'll advertise that one for hearing on the 8th, May.
you can read that at your pleasure.
This is the other one.
The next one that we have is there's a citizen's petition for a change to the current large-scale solar voltaic zoning bylaw. So, this came in last week. We don't have a advertisement written for it yet, but we will have one before the town meeting. So this can be brought up and discussed.
When that was emailed to us, there's only the first page. How many signatures are on there in total?
But there's way more in the back too, I just scanned the first page, because it was
Okay.
a legal size paper, so.
I'm assuming there's some kind of a minimum requirement for,
Yeah.
for signatures?
I think it's
I think
51.
it's 10,
51.
10 or 15.
I thought it was 51.
There are quite a few anyway, I've got a full copy in the office if you want to see before you leave, I just,
I was just curious about the number.
yeah. I guess that was adequate, there's quite a few, but I just
Check with the
got it off
town,
there because it was a legal size paper, so I couldn't really fit it in there.
yeah, check with the town clerk and see what, you know, just make sure they have enough. I'm sure they do. If they went through, they had to get the paperwork from the town clerk, so I'm sure she informed them on what the minimum requirement was. So, basically, I mean, it doesn't really say what they want to do, but reading through it and looking at what's different from what we currently have, basically what's happening is the overlay district is not included in this new bylaw. So the issue with removing the overlay district would be that if in the future, you know, some perfect piece of land comes up, similar to the one that was on Oxford Ave, where it's up high on a hill and nobody sees it, and it's bordering Charlton or Oxford or Thompson or whatever you, and, you know, there's not a public outcry that this is a bad thing for this particular parcel of land. There's no way to invoke that. You'd have to go back and put another overlay district back in. I mean, the overlay district, the way it's set up right now, no solar farm can go in any of the districts that's not allowed, which is basically the industrial 43 and industrial 130 and the town refuse district. No solar farm could go in without holding a public hearing and taking it to a town meeting. So, I mean, right now, the way it's set up, in my opinion, is the best way, because it gives the board or the townspeople at town meeting the option to pick and choose every single lot that comes before the planning board. So if they say, like the last one, no, we don't want it there, that's fine. But like I said, if down the road there happens to be a spot that comes up and it's not in one of these 3 zones, and the person is, you know, not getting any objection from people, I mean, it's a lot of work to go back and put it in an overlay district just for one situation.
I didn't sign the petition, I wasn't aware of the petition, so I don't know anything about it, but just from hearing discussions at town meetings or public meetings in here, the idea, this is just my reading into it, that the town can vote something down in a town meeting, but then it can get put up back on the next town meeting. That has aggravated a couple of our fellow citizens, and that process is probably something that, I'm just guessing that they would like to find a way to curb.
Right, but it's
I could be
still,
wrong.
it still goes to the town meeting, so I mean,
Right.
whether it goes once or twice or 3 times, it still goes to a town meeting. It's not like it's gonna happen in the middle of the night or something like that. So, I mean, I'm just saying that's, that was the point of putting the overlay district in, so that it gives them the ability to pick and choose what lots are available versus just saying it's not available anywhere. Because I know for sure there'll be some lot someplace someday that'll come up. It'll be the perfect situation, and if the overlay district's not there, it won't be possible unless you put the overlay.
Possible that the signatories here think that there isn't the perfect situation in Dudley.
Hmm. And the last one we have is the housekeeping one, draft 5 of the housekeeping articles. Oh, actually, there's 2 more.
Many more than 5 times, but I will word a lot with town council, but
Yep,
well said on that one, I think.
all right, so there's
Pretty
actually
much
2
speaks for
more.
itself, it's pretty much just clearing up typos and
Yep,
a couple of things that she said were maybe a little bit bigger than that with the, don't have to mail by certified mail, and I don't think we should do it anymore because people say they don't get it.
all right,
I don't know how much it costs the town, but people have said that they didn't get the mail, and proved that they did. Just didn't pick it up, so maybe it's best just to mail it directly, first class. You can do that.
okay.
A lot of towns do that more often than not, I think.
It'll come back if they don't exist.
That's right. And I've got the tricks too. You can take a picture of the envelope before you send it, and, just things like that you can do. It's not proof enough.
Okay, so that's the draft 5 of those articles, or changes to those, that article is the changes to the housekeeping on zoning. And then the last one we have is the proposed rezoning of business 15 to res 10. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots on Marshall Terrace.
And that was part of our housekeeping too, if I remember correctly.
More or
was the-
less, yeah.
Yeah, it was to correct that
Or
one
down to it, yeah.
situation, yeah. I mean, the existing houses that are there are non-conforming, so this is gonna make them less, one of them will become conforming and the other 2 will be less non-conforming.
Not much closer.
Then the last thing in that section is a copy of the public hearing notice for your reading information.
Nice meeting, yeah.
Yep.
Read in the newspaper today, got posted yesterday, so.
Okay. And then the next item on our agenda, G, discussion on the status of economic development planning, including integration of the 2015 Village District Study with results of the Village District Walk, Phase 2 Economic Development Strategic Plan and potential priority development village district areas, progress on agricultural planning, receipt of energy and environmental affairs planning assistance grant with Webster for economic development, commercial corridor planning, relationship to Phase 2 Economic Development Strategic Plan, DLTA funding.
Well, we got a lot going on. It's not so much, but there's been 3 programs going on, 4 if you count the block grant, but we won't know for that for till at least June. So this MVP grant, so-called, I gave you a copy of a sample.
Right.
I'm going to be meeting on that with CMRPC again. We'll get more into that. There's a lot of things that I can do. There's a lot of things I can cover. It's emergency preparedness, more or less. There's a lot of things we can cover. Dam problems, the stormwater overflows, kinds of things. Safety hazards, generally.
So that's under tab H in your books.
It doesn't pay for, don't get me wrong, it doesn't pay for all the work, but it pays for the, needs to, get the money to pay for the work.
Okay.
Step in the right direction in that sense.
And
The other one, the EEA grant, took me to 2 towns and met on that one. Last week, Tuesday, with the folks from Webster and Wisconsin. get that going. We've got it's a color map, so I couldn't really reproduce in the office, but I can scan it. If you want to see it, I can scan it and show it to you that way. Shows the work areas. Basically, Dudley, the study area we're looking at is the town line down to the courthouse.
On West Main Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit harder to look too with the area around the mill, the Stephen Mill, and that area just across the street on the other side of West Main. Or, you know, beginning of Schofield Avenue, essentially. Business. Also, I'm being involved too with complete streets programs. Does anybody know what complete streets are? Basically, it's a simple premise. Streets are for everybody, not just for those little exoskeleton beetles that drive around. It's for cars. So the new emphasis in designing streets is to make paths for bicycles, walkers, make sure everybody's accommodated. More, you know, transit if you ever have it, anything like that.
It's pretty popular in Europe, in Germany, and Austria, and
Yeah.
Switzerland.
But it's a good opportunity, though, to upgrade the sidewalks in particular,
Yeah.
so, on that area, like Florida, so.
Well, the
I
sidewalks
can
on
see
West
those.
Main Street are a little treacherous.
Yeah.
As far as I can see,
You want the big hole in it.
as far as I know, I'm going to Greenfield to get training on that on May 15th.
Okay.
It's Wednesday, but I don't think we have a hearing or a meeting, though.
Is like Central Mass Regional Planning spearheading this, or?
Kind of like the conduit.
Okay. So they'll be there to help us if we need help. Okay. And the thing that I put in the packages tonight for everybody, the municipal, I can't even say that word, preparedness program, that was basically, this one is a copy of what West Boylston's used?
Yeah, just them.
Just a sample, okay. All right.
I think they're actually gonna start working on that with me, getting down to writing next week.
And I think in the past, when we've done these, we've also had the police chief and fire chief involved.
Yeah.
Will we get that, will we have them involved this time too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other involvement too is something else going on too. Maybe that we're gonna work into it, I'm not sure, the MVP grant might work into it this, you hear the MS4 program? Stands for Municipal Storm Sewer, Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. What M and 4 S's. It's the EPA program on cleaning up stormwater. We're working on that too, we've heard from the EPA on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully this all ties in. A lot of front money for the engineering studies and stuff like that.
All right. Well, that's good news if it's not coming out of taxpayers' money.
Not directly. I'll pay them eventually, right? It's like federal money, I don't know.
Okay. And do you have anything for Planner's Plate?
That's about it.
That's about it. Comments from the planning board?
Do have one quick thing. I noted in the email we sent out, the fire department had some asks for Pierpont Estates for that shared common driveway there.
Yeah, the fire department sent that out, yeah. I sent that to Tony too.
Okay.
Say that again, please?
They sent out some asks of the
Requests.
common driveway.
Oh, requests, okay.
I think it was,
They wanted 20 foot wide or 24 feet wide, they wanted a cul-de-sac at the end for
24.
a turnaround.
because the extensions on the ladder truck when they set it up come down.
Okay.
I don't know the fancy word for it, but
That was close enough for
yeah,
fancy.
extensions.
Just tell me the cul-de-sacs have to be at least 45 feet diameter.
Right.
Get the fire truck around, I don't know what. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
It's gonna handle, see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, they've done them too, where they're not just a circle at the end. It's kind of like an egg shape that goes off
We
to
do
the
that
side.
too, yeah.
Yeah, as long as they can turn around and come back up,
Oh, and eye of needle or something.
yeah. Okay.
That's all I got.
Just one quick question, backing up to item G. about the economic development planning. We talk about this every week, but I don't know how much movement there is, every time we meet. Does it make sense to talk about it just once every second meeting, or should we keep it on there as a full-time item?
Well, Don is the one that's spearheading that for the town, so he gives the updates. I mean, Don, if you wanna just do that once a month, that's fine with us, let us know.
It just depends on how much movement is there. If you're more,
Moving faster now,
moving faster now?
has in a long time.
Mhm.
There were 3 programs going in that,
Yep.
sort of that area. They're not really all economic development, but they'll relate.
Because, to my uneducated ear about this grant program, today's update sounded an awful lot like the update from last time, so I wasn't sure if it was just something we should move to once every second meeting.
Well, I've had the organization,
Okay.
I have one quick question. Did the agricultural have a meeting yet?
they did have a meeting, but they didn't have a quorum. So I think they're meeting Thursday, I can't remember which Thursday it is. It's the first Thursday, or, I don't remember which one. Either first Thursday, I'm not sure. I think it's a Thursday night, though.
I don't think we're gonna get any comments from the audience, so,
I'm surprised.
Full house.
you wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Second that motion?
We got a first at first, right?
Yeah,
I
someone-
move to adjourn.
Oh, I thought you said make a motion to adjourn now.
Can't do that.
Sorry, jumping the gun there. Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you, good night, everybody.